Good morning. I want to share with you today, I'm Margie here, and we have spoken in an earlier video, so have a look at my channel, about protein alternatives. Now, quinoa, which is difficult to pronounce because it is a QI, but it's pronounced quinoa, is a seed that has 28% protein. It's the highest of all seeds. Most people don't cook it because they don't know how to cook it, but it's so simple. You can boil it as though it was couscous. You can pop it like popcorn, just in a pan. You can bake it like you would baked vegetables. It's so easy to work with. So I'm just going to show you a few little tricks. What is important with quinoa is the quantities. So if you use 1/3 of a cup of quinoa seeds. Now you'll notice I've put a bay leaf in there. I use bay leaves in all my dry goods, and then you never ever get any weevils or any hohos crawling around in your seeds. So we have 1/3 of a cup, and here we have a full cup of filtered water, no chemicals. Now, what you do with that, you pop that on the stove, and with the lid on, you bring it to the boil. Then, when you've brought it to the boil, you take the lid off, you give it a stir, and then you leave it for 12 to 15 minutes. That's all. Put the lid back on, and you leave it for another 5 or 10 minutes. And then when you finish that, you just fluff it up, and it looks just like couscous, but tastes delicious, and it's very high in protein. It's not a carbohydrate. Now, the other interesting thing with quinoa is when you put it in a fry pan with a lid, or a pot like that with a lid, you just put a tiny little bit of coconut oil, and you make sure the seeds only cover the bottom of the pan. And what you have to do is cover the bottom of the pan with your quinoa seeds and your little bit of coconut oil. Put it on the heat with a lid on, and you have to keep it moving all the time. As it's popping, you just keep shaking it continually on the heat and shake, on the heat and shake, on the heat and shake. And what happens, they go these tiny little pops all the time, and it ends up like this, delicious, crispy. You can garnish with it. It tastes divine, it's crunchy, and it's 28% protein. How about that? So easy. Now, the most important tip when cooking with quinoa, before you cook it, it's absolutely vital to wash it, because there's an active ingredient on the outside of the seed that if you don't rinse it really well, then it has a slightly bitter taste. But it's not unpleasant in terms of for the health. It means it needs rapid movement of cold water. So continually under the cold water, shaking, 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 shaking. And now that is what gets added to the pot for 12 to 15 minutes. I hope you enjoyed that segment. If you did, click the like button. And for the full details and all the recipes on quinoa, please just revert to my website. Have a fabulous day.